Hello. I'm going to be talking about truth and the Labour Party. I intended to start making one video about truth and the Labour Party to do with something that Angela Rayner said. But I have to talk about this. This was just going to be an introduction, but I think it deserves a little spot in the sun on its own. This is Keir Starmer, the leader of the Labour Party. Now, I want to tell you guys in Australia, where I have quite a few subscribers, and in America particularly, this is an extremely good example of the problems you have when you refuse to acknowledge the truth. And you run into all sorts of weirdnesses. Before I get onto that, I just want to ask you to click that like button, please. And subscribe. Now, I just also want to point out to you that this is only for people on YouTube. My subscriber numbers are going down. In BitChute and Rumble, I didn't join that too long ago, so I have very few subscribers there. And I've got about the same number of subscribers on those channels, but in YouTube, I'm going down. Now, that's a bit weird, isn't it? And I thought, well, either I'm no good or YouTube is doing something to my channel. And it seems I'm more inclined to believe it's YouTube because, first of all, of the other numbers, but secondly, because there's a sort of pattern. My numbers are at a level and then they go up a couple after a video and then they drop the couple and a couple more. Sometimes a few more, sometimes a few less, but there's this constant pattern. On a level, up a bit, then down. On a level, up a bit, then down. It looks like there's some program in there that's stripping my subscribers. I obviously got on the wrong side of somebody who's an engineer in YouTube. I've talked to them a few times. I think I've mentioned this to you before. Nobody's tried to help me in any way, but of course the assistants can't go into the program. I do ask you to like and subscribe if you're on YouTube, and especially it might put off the evil day, but when it gets down to a certain level, I'm just going to give up on YouTube because, well, it's just depressing, isn't it? Okay, but let's get back to Keir Starmer. Here we have him being interviewed by Andrew Marr. Now, listen to this.
Is it transphobic to say only women have a cervix?
Well, it is something that shouldn't be said. It is not right. But Andrew,
okay, right. Andrew Marr says, is it transphobic to say only women have a cervix? And Starmer's response is, it is something that shouldn't be said. It's not right. Now, I don't know quite what he thought he meant there. Does he mean it shouldn't be said, it's true, but it shouldn't be said? Or does he mean it's not true and it shouldn't be said? He managed not to say that. And I know why he did this, because he knows that if he said, yeah, women have cervixes, but he knows that there are trans men, women who become men, and they are still so equipped, and then he'd get into all sorts of trouble with his more woke followers. But now we're into the trans issue again, which is why I'm not going to be monetizing this video. I have some subscribers who have told me they're trans. They're trans women. They're men who used to be men, now they're women. But the ones who subscribe to this channel, that is, they're not nutcases, they just have gender dysphoria, they acknowledge that they are basically men who resemble women. They live as women. They act in society among women. I have no trouble with that. That's perfectly fine. I am filled with admiration for their commitment, actually. Being a woman is still rather difficult in this society, however many advances we've made. So that's not a problem. When I talked about nutcases, I'm talking about the sort of people who smash up shops because they're 6'6" and built like weightlifters, and then go mad when they think somebody has referred to them as sir. Anyway, but those guys are obviously at the less stable end of the human spectrum. And this is a man who's at a very stable point in human society, but he still can't come to grips with the truth because he knows, not because he doesn't know the difference, but because he knows many of his followers can't come to grips with the difference. They have a curtain between themselves and the truth. I'm going to be talking about that in the video I intended to make, but I just thought I'd mention this first. That's it. Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the Graniopteryx design or Granbo with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.graniopteryx.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share.